Okay.
We're live.
We are live. We're going to try this YouTube thing. See how that goes. If you see either one of us looking off to the side, it's because we've got YouTube up on one side and then StreamYard up on the other.
Yeah.
So
I also had to go and mute the other one because it wasn't muted by default. So it was like you were talking and then you were talking again. I was like, stop. I can only hear one person talking at a time.
I'm glad you said that because I needed to do the same thing. Excellent. And we have our little chat feature up. Yay! I'm excited to see how this works. Ooh, okay. It popped up the comment in live stream. So maybe, or in StreamYard, I mean. So maybe we'll see how this goes. We've never done YouTube
for
before.
me.
Oh, it did for me.
Oh, wait, there it is. Maybe we were in the wrong spot last time for comments. That's why we couldn't see any.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
feel like I had the same screen open, but
yeah.
We'll see. Okay.
I'm not even sure how to tell if anyone's watching.
I have a little number in the corner, but
oh, where?
It's on the stage. We can talk about details afterwards.
Okay. Well, I just don't know how to tell if someone's here, so I'm like, I don't know if anyone's here.
We do, in fact, actually have people here.
Oh, okay, cool.
The thing that's different, and again, it does seem fancy, Rebecca. The thing that's different is I can't see when people join unless they comment. So in Instagram, when you join, it lets us know when you join. So do let us know that you're here. Valerie's here. Rebecca's here. Excellent. Welcome.
Yes, welcome, Rebecca and Valerie.
We had several people last month who said they don't have social media, and so we wanted to try YouTube and see if that would allow more people to join.
Yeah.
So that's why we are experimenting. Thanks for your patience with us as we try to figure this out.
Yes. It's been an adventure.
It has. I think this one's going to work better than the last one, though. It already seems to work a little bit smoother. So.
Yeah, I mean, we get comments right in StreamYard, so, I mean, that's already better. Last time we didn't get comments in StreamYard, so we had to have both things up. It was a little confusing.
Yep. All right, I've got my cup of tea that I just brewed, so it's piping hot.
Perfect.
Got my books.
I got my water bottle.
I also have my water, too, my Realm Maker's water, because I've not had enough water today, so...
That happens.
Oh, mercy. Okay. Let's dive in. We are doing our, January recap. And it's the first month that we were on the... I forgot to grab my bingo cards. They're right here. Let me grab those real quick.
Me too! But I actually have to reprint mine off. So...
Oh, you do? Why?
Because remember I colored in the free space?
Oh, yeah. Cassie over here is like, that means I don't have to read a book, right? I'm like, no, friend. It means
that's normally what free space means in bingo. It normally means you get it for free without doing anything. So I got to reprint them all.
For that.
So,
I love it. Okay. Yes, mine are in black and white, but that's because I don't have a color printer. It's fine.
But I didn't pick out where any of my books go on my bingo yet because I don't know. I feel so indecisive on where they go. So none of them.
Until they're locked into a bingo, you can move them.
I know, but also I was highlighting on my bingo. So it's like once I highlight, I can't unhighlight.
Yeah, so maybe don't highlight until you get a bingo.
I guess.
I noticed when I printed mine off and I moved one, the eraser left
a
little white mark in mine.
Oops.
Which is not a huge deal, but
yeah.
Okay, so before we dive into what we read this month, sorry, I'm taking my tea bag out of my tea. Tell me, what bingo cards did you print with to start off?
Oh, I did the genre one.
Okay.
The winter one. What was the other one? There's 3 that I printed off. Genre,
did you
winter,
print nonfiction perchance?
Oh, yes. Thank you. And nonfiction.
Because I printed off the same 3 plus the book cover one.
Yeah. That's what I was like. There was a third. Yeah, those are the 3 I printed off.
The more I look at the winter one, the more I think I'm going to wait on that one until it comes back around. Because I'm like kind of straddling the nonfiction and the genre card right now. So.
Yeah, I feel like 3 might have been too many. So
it's one of
this
those
time when I reprint, I don't think I'll print the winter one yet.
It feels like if I'm going to get a bingo, I need to focus on like one card. Valerie's doing the genre and the miscellaneous. I really do want to do the miscellaneous one. I think that one looks fun. 3x3 bingo cards for each of the 4 seasons. That's cute.
That's fun.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Yes. Anybody else tell us what cards you've started with. Doesn't mean you have to finish with them, but let us know what you started with. Okay, Cassie, how many books did you read this month?
So this month I read 7 books.
7 books. Valerie says, I'm just a bit intimidated about all the series included. That's fair. That's fair.
That might have been a lot, but
yes. Rebecca says she's not even looked at the cards yet, but you haven't read anything yet. That's okay.
Hey, that's fair. You got the whole year.
We're ready. Yeah.
This isn't like a time-sensitive situation.
And if you want to start a book and then decide which bingo card you want to put it on afterwards, you don't have to start with a bingo card either. You can start with whichever book you're most excited to read next.
Spoiler alert, that's what I did with every book I read in January. They don't have a spot yet.
Okay, so you read 7 books.
7 books, yes.
All right, what were they?
So 3 of them I don't own, so I don't have them here. And those 3, all by the same author. It was a series, it was a trilogy, and it was Apprentice, Elite, and Flight by Kristen Young, which was a dystopian series.
I think those are on my TBR.
It's with Enclave.
The ones that has like the bubble looking.
Yeah, and like a tree on it.
Yes. Okay, I've heard about those.
Yes. Yeah, I'd seen them at Realm Makers a few times and like picked them up and always put them back in favor of other books. But I was like, just because I don't own them doesn't mean I can't read them. So I read them in January and they were, pretty good.
Rebecca says she loved that series. That's good to hear. I've always been curious about them because I've not heard enough about them to be like, I need to read this now. But I've not heard enough about them to not be curious.
Yeah. I would say they're worth reading. So you can add those to your TBR or prioritize that. Oh, what'd you do? You just made us bigger. You zoomed in.
I did.
I like that. That's a little bit better.
The screen a little better. There we go.
Yeah.
Again, we're testing things out. Have patience.
Yeah, because before, like, my whole water bottle, like, this part right here was sticking into the frame at one point, and I was like, that's weird.
It's fine. Okay, so you read a trilogy. That was 3. What were the other 4?
Okay, so then I also read Wolf Soldier.
That one's on my TBR and on my shelf.
Yes. Yeah, so that was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
Does that have dragons in it?
Dragon, I'm trying to remember. This was the first one I read this year. I think it did. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
There's Dragonlands.
There's one more.
Yep. So, yeah, that was one of the first ones I read this year.
I'm excited for that one.
And then Baby Steps Millionaires.
Yes, because we were buddy reading that one, but you got like the last half hour you had to wait for.
Yes. So on Spotify, you know, they limit your hours. I had 30 minutes left. 30, guys. I was so mad. Aww. So that was annoying. At least it wasn't a fiction book where you're like, how does it end? Where it was like, it's just going to tell me how to do money stuff. So like, whatever, you know, like it was a good ending. Like, don't get me wrong. Like it was very encouraging. But
really liked the epilogue in that one. I thought that was good.
Yeah. So, yeah. I also read Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings. So that's book 2.
Such a pretty cover.
Make sure you start with book 1. But
yeah. But I love the purple in that cover.
Yeah, it's a really good cover. They did a good job.
You want to know a fun fact about it?
Sure. Tell me a fun fact about it.
Let me see if I can. Okay, look at the horse. You're a horse girl, so you should pick up on this. Look at Jack's horse and look at Benny's horse. And what do you see that's missing from Jack's horse? We'll show it to you guys. See if anybody can pick up on it.
Well, I don't see a saddle, but that could just be the shading. You said sorry. What is missing?
Look around his mouth.
I mean, it's hard to tell. Is there no bit in the mouth?
There's no reins.
Oh, reins! Oh my gosh! There's no reins!
No reins. We discovered that after we printed it, and we were so upset about it.
Oh my gosh!
But Benny has reins, but Jack
does.
So, anyways, fun fact: if you guys read that book, you can check out the cover and see that there are no reins.
Well, one of them needed reins and one of them didn't, so there was also that.
Apparently, yeah. And it's not the ones on the cover. Anyways, so there's your behind the scenes look at that.
That was funny. I thought it looked weird, and I was like, "What's going on?" But yeah.
Yep. Okay, what else did you read? Sorry, I'm gonna stop interrupting. I happen to know that about that book. So
yeah, no, it's okay. Last book I read is The Unraveling of Emily Dulaine, which came out yesterday, and guys, it's so gorgeous. Look at this cover.
I also have to say, so we buddy read it, but I finished like days after February started, so mine technically goes on February instead of January. But it was so good.
It is so good.
I think I might have liked it more than Story Peddler.
Okay.
But I haven't read the second and third Story Peddler yet, so...
I mean, I like it better than Story Peddler, but... Yeah.
I really enjoyed it a lot. I loved her character. I loved, I loved her lightning thoughts. How she would totally trail off into a random thought, but it was done in such a way that it didn't confuse the reader. Like, it made sense. And I was like, I do this all the time. This is the pattern that my brain follows. And you never see that in fiction anywhere. You always see the, like, cohesive narrative. And I'm like, no, some people don't think like that. And just the way that Emlyn thinks was just, I was like, I love this girl.
Sorry, I just tried to throw a toy for my dog because he's bothering me, but that didn't work super well.
I love it. So dare I ask what your favorite book of the month was?
Emily Dulaine. I think we knew.
I did hear, so Lindsay Franklin and Morgan Bussey did a live celebration chat Q&A thing yesterday. And, not yesterday, Tuesday.
Which was yesterday, but that's fine.
What is, oh, we normally do these on Thursday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, y'all. Okay. Let's do that. My bad. Anyways, she said that it was Riven Lee. And the whole time I read the book, I thought it was Riven Leia. So now I'm like, I'm so conflicted.
That's funny. See, I always read it as Riven Lee.
That's what she said it was, and that's not what my brain did.
I don't know what to tell you, friend.
Okay, well, did you find something surprising or delightful about your reads for this past month?
I mean, I liked all of Lindsay's other books, so it's not like I didn't think I was going to like it, but I didn't know I was going to like this as much as I did. Mm-hmm. I loved this. I adored this. I couldn't put it down.
Like, that was the thing for me, is I like, it was page turning.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, I think I put it down like twice, and I really didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I needed to go to bed.
And I had to be strategic, too, about it, too, because, like, I had to put it down multiple times because I was falling asleep with my sleep supplement at night reading this. So I was like, I have to go to sleep. Can't even keep my eyes open. But I was like, I need to stop in the middle of chapters so that it's a little less. Like, I'll find like a decent stopping spot. I'm like, okay, put it down, go to bed, which is so hard. But yeah, it was a page turner.
I love that. I didn't expect it to be a page turner. So I think that, like, I thought it was just going to be a cool, really good, engaging fantasy, but like it was like, no, I need more. Hold on.
Yeah.
So
which I think the Story Peddler didn't have. Like, it was really good, right? Like, really engaging fantasy, but it wasn't like a page turner where I'm like, I gotta keep going until the end.
I need to know what happens next.
But this one, I was like, I need to know about all the spheres and the sister and all the stories and like all the things and like yeah.
And then Novamites, I really liked the different like the magic system a lot too.
Yeah.
And that ending, oh okay, it's fine.
I know that
spoiling. No spoils.
So yeah. If you guys have not read this one,
you should
go buy it right now.
Excellent. So, I love that. Okay, was there anything that was challenging or difficult about this past month, other than figuring out the bingo cards?
Well, that is a challenge. This is still a challenge. I think I'm non-committal in a lot of things. So I think I will be non-committal the entire year. So we're just going to call that a year-long challenge and it'll be fun. That's why it's a challenge. But for January specifically, I think it was hard to find time to read and like to get books in. And like, I know I got 7 books in, but that's like low for me. Yeah. So it just felt like I wasn't getting any reading done. And I was like, I don't know, halfway to 2/3 of the way through the month going like, I probably didn't read any books at all. Like I've done so little reading, which was not true. Looking at my spreadsheet tracker, like it wasn't true, but it felt that way. And honestly, February is feeling that way too.
Harder for you to track because you read so many books at once. It's hard to know how close to finished you are with those, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unlike me, where I'm like, I know if I finished a book or not because I do them almost one at a time. Not entirely. I have separated the fiction and the nonfiction, and I can manage an audiobook and a devotional, but still, like, I can't go much further than that. So, okay. Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go a little backwards. I think I also found it challenging. I looked up and it was like January 15th, and I was like, I've read 1 book. January kind of flew past a little bit quicker than I anticipated this year. Just kind of funny. Yeah. Like January is normally kind of like a slow down month, and this year it was like, it's gone, poof.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's funny. Have you heard? So I've heard from people, like I felt that January flew by pretty fast, but there's a lot of people I talked to that were like, no, this was the slowest month of my life. And they were like, it couldn't end fast enough. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I blinked and it was gone. Like,
that was not my experience. Okay. Well, I read 1, 2, 3, 4. I read 6 books, but I can only talk about 5 of them because one of them was for work and I can't tell you guys about it. Sorry. That's how that goes. And I don't own the first one. Okay, so the first one I read actually was recommended by the people that I work with. It was really good, called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Mm. Oh, I just got that one from the library today.
You don't have the physical copy, do you?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well. Y'all will have to just imagine a yellow cover with black letters that say Unreasonable Hospitality.
I mean, it has it on the app.
Do you? I'm curious to see what you think of that. There you go. I really enjoyed it. I think that the author was funny and engaging. I also was particularly fascinated by like the food industry side of things because he is in the food industry and the whole book walks through like what he has learned through business and leadership and hospitality within the food industry, in the service industry. So that was an excellent read, and that was my first read of the year. The next one, I don't have on a bingo card yet, but I think there actually is a place somewhere in one of the bingo cards that says we can read a picture book. And so I haven't put it on a bingo card yet, but it's called The Story of God, Our King, and it's shiny. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. Get some light on it. So the illustrations are super duper pretty. It's just a picture book that kind of walked through the story of the scriptures in an easy to digest way for kids. So there was that. And then I can't tell you about that book, but the one that I did read next will not come as a shocker. Nightfall. For anybody who's been following along, I've been rereading Keeper of the Lost Cities. This was kind of like my main book of the month, I think. It is very pretty, Valerie. The illustrations were very well done. I love the kind of threads of gold throughout it, but he plays with light and dark in the shading, in the artistry of it really well. But anyway, this was the last of the books in the series that I had already read. So the next one that I read will be a first time read, not a reread. So I'm excited to have like finally caught up to where I was originally.
Same, Valerie. I have not started it either. I feel like it's a commitment once you start to it because it's so big and so many books.
You really need, but the thing is, they're really quick reads. Like, so talking about the like hard to put down, the pacing is very quick. So in most of them, I think there's like the fifth one that I feel is a little bit slower, but it's not like a fat book that is drudgery, is my point. Is one that it's one that you look up and you don't realize that you read 200 pages because
I feel like if it was drudgery, it would not be so highly recommended. So many people recommend it, and I know you've been like, read it, and I'm like, I can't commit.
Really enjoy it, even if you just started with the first one.
Well, you got to start with the first one. You can't start with any of them.
No, this is not one of those that you just serialize. No, you have to start at the beginning, or you're going to be so lost.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of my favorite middle grade series, and I highly recommend it. So, yeah. Okay, the next one is, I don't have like the physical book because my church like printed them off basically. But it's called The 21 Days of Fasting and Prayer. We did a 21-day congregational fast, and so I was reading through the devotion. It's like a daily devotional with some journaling sections in it. And then the last one was for work. I reread again The Green Ember.
Is this like your 10th time rereading that?
It's actually only the second time I read it. But okay. I immediately started a third read for a different project. So I am in the middle of my third read right now. You can tell by my tiny little spot. So yeah, some of his other books I've read lots of times, but The Green Ember is not one. They published that one like 10 years ago, so I didn't work on it originally. So yeah.
Jack Zulu, though, you read that like 10 times, didn't you?
I read The Girl with Golden Wings so many times. So many times. And I have to read it again too for something else, but not.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm doing style sheets and I need to finish the first book before I do the second book, but eventually I'm going to get to the second book. So anywho, so I have two favorites for the month. My nonfiction favorite was Unreasonable Hospitality because I really enjoyed it a lot. And then my fiction favorite was Nightfall, which is one of my favorites in the series anyway. But it was phenomenal. I loved it and I recommend it.
Okay. Did you put them on your bingo?
I did.
Any of them on your bingos?
So I put my bingo also has some of my February reads on here. So I don't know if I can. I don't have a bingo yet, but the nonfiction one, I have the 21 Days of Fasting and Prayer under devotional. And then that's a February read there that we'll talk about next month. And then for the genre bingo is the other one that I've been working on. So the genre bingo actually has a nonfiction square. So that's where I put Unreasonable Hospitality.
Okay.
Partially because it's a little bit hard to categorize, I think, within nonfiction. So I thought the 21 Days of Fasting is obviously a devotional. That one's easy to peg. But Unreasonable Hospitality is sort of a business book, sort of a leadership book, sort of a personal development book. It could go in multiple places. So I was I'm going to put that on the genre card. Plus I have more things for the genre card. So I do actually have 3 in a row.
Nice.
2. But there are 2 that I'm it's going to take me a minute. I should have thought about this when I randomly put these squares in. I should have been a little more strategic. But it's okay.
No, but the point is, see, it wouldn't have been as fun if you had strategically placed everything where you
didn't. That's why I didn't. Yeah.
Can't do that.
I did put Emmeline Delane on my young adult square.
Okay.
I put her on my fantasy square at first, and then I thought, hold on, fantasy could be a lot broader, and I read a lot of fantasy, so I'm going to hold off on that. I do read a fair bit of young adult, but I was just in case I decide to go left field for some reason, which is entirely possible knowing me. So I put it in young adult, and then I put Nightfall in middle grade so that I have 2, and then I've got 3 on a row. So.
I forgot I could put Jack Zulu in middle grade, or did they classify this one as young adult?
I think it's technically still middle grade. Yeah, it's juvenile fiction. I would.
Okay.
It's somewhere. It's like upper middle grade, lower
Yeah,
YA. In
that's
between.
why I was like, I don't know where to put this one. But I could technically put it in middle grade.
Yeah, you could
You
do
heard
that.
it from her first.
Fantasy. You could even, I think, argue almost for like a Western. It's got like a Western vibe.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
It's not like a classic Western, but it kind of could fit there.
But I could also reread for the millionth time The Lady's Mind.
There we go.
And that's a Western.
I got this. So,
but yeah, I need to look at the genre card again to see what else is on there so I can start.
I know.
Yeah, I've read a lot of YA.
I've been doing the pick the book, like we told Rebecca, pick the book and then figure out where to put it. And now I'm like, I should actually look at what's on the card.
Yeah. Well, I think now that I have a stack, that it's like, okay, these need to go on a card somewhere so that I can, I don't know. But like, I've already read a few books for February too that I'm like, a lot of YA fantasy that I'm reading. And so I'm like, I need to
the point
variety a little more.
Yeah. Variety. Yeah. I don't think I find variety challenging overall, personally, but I'm a mood reader. So what I'll do is I'll get in, and I feel one coming on. I think we've talked about this, but I feel like I'm about to go down the pirate mermaid rabbit hole.
Yes.
For the next couple of weeks or months. I do get into like a swing of things for a little minute, and then I'll like completely left field. I'll go from like fantasy to like contemporary mystery. I don't have an issue jumping around, but when I get into like a groove, like there's four or five different books and I'm like, I'm ready to pick them up, and they're all like Ocean, Little Mermaid, Sea Witch, like all the things, and I'm just ready for it. I'm here for the pirate vibes right now.
Yes, so. You got to finish the Oathbound series, friend.
I know, that's on the list. That's those two. There's those two, and then House of Salt and Sorrows, All the Stars and Teeth, Sea Witch, and there's another one. I can't think of the name of it, but there's like 6 of them that I'm like, I want to read you. And doesn't the second Story Puddler kind of have a they sounded like they were going to go off on a voyage.
Yeah, they do go on a voyage.
So I don't know if there are pirates or not, but I got the vibe that I might be able to like that's the other thing. I do like to find a link if I can, because that helps my brain skip around. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I don't generally have trouble with variety. It's just I do tend anyways to read a lot of YA fantasy specifically. So like even though I'll have a variety in my genres, like it'll that one will be the most. So if we go back to the last 2 years, we can see the pie chart that would show like fantasy was like that much of the pie chart, and then everything else is squeezed around that.
Thanks for joining us, Rebecca. Go have fun with your 50K in 50 days. That's exciting.
Yes, enjoy that. Have fun. I didn't realize the sprint was happening right now.
Yes. Well, we're about wrapped up anyway. I showed you my favorites. I think, what was delightful? Part of me wants to say Nightfall just because I really loved Nightfall. But I think something that surprised me was how much I enjoyed Unreasonable Hospitality. Like, I'm not in the food industry. I have often, for many years, I have dreamt of going to culinary school purely for the education, not for any career purposes. So it was kind of like just a little treat to kind of get the inside view of the industry that I will never work in. So I think that book surprised me in how much I really enjoyed hearing his stories, but also the takeaways from the stories were really good too. And I'm
excited to read it.
With what I hope. I'm excited to chat with you about it. And then something that was challenging. Okay, this is not super like reading related, but I think I felt I felt the whole month of January, I didn't know what day it was or what was going on or what I needed to do next or like marking things off. I just felt so not grounded, if that makes sense. And I felt like I was behind the whole month. And so I think that did impact my reading. But my challenge was just figuring out like how to focus on what are my priorities for this week? What am I reading this week? Yada, yada. So I do feel a little bit more grounded now, but all of January was just like, what is happening? So.
That's fair. I I felt that. January was a weird month.
It was a weird month. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, it was like a weird start to 2025. But now we're in February. Hopefully it'll be better.
That's fine. Okay, and so if you had to pick a favorite book of the year so far, I'm going to guess that it's Emlyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Now, I know we've talked about this, and we'll talk more in February, but there's books that I'm reading now for February that may be contenders. So I think that's why you were like, what is your favorite for the year? But out of the ones I finished.
Out of your past reads. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I think I would have to go with Nightfall, which, if that were to last for the year, the giveaway would be for book 1, not for the 6th book in the series. Just in case anyone was wondering.
Can I win? But no, win a copy of
the Lawsuit. They're only like $9 on Amazon, so they're not expensive, which is nice. Normally, they're not paying like $25 for one of these books.
That's good because these hardcovers, man, they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Enclave ones are worth it because you get
such delightful little things in them.
Yeah.
And next week, Morgan's cover is going to be revealed. I cannot wait for it. I loved Winter's Maiden, and I need book 2.
I hope they send that email out soon, because I like to schedule my things out in advance.
Yep.
So I want to not have to worry about it like the night before.
We'll see how it goes. Anyways, okay. Any announcements before we head off? We'll send out the reading recap email like normal. I think the YouTube worked fairly well. So unless there's an uproar, we will probably do this again next month.
We'll see what happens when we post it afterwards. That's where we may have some trouble.
We'll see how this works. But we'll send out the recap email. Oh, here's an announcement. In the recap email this month, we'll come to you. We have a survey. So part of what we've done in the past is picked a new date each month. And what we'd love to do is just kind of poll the challengers and see if there is a time that is more common for everybody. Or a majority of people to meet. And it's only like a 2 or 3 question little survey. So if you would, please take a minute and just let us know what are good times and days for you. And
that's for the lives, not the Zoom meetings. Those are different.
Yeah. So we'll do the Zoom meetings. There's only 3 of those, and we'll do those individually. It's a good clarification. Thank you. But just let us know on there what works, and then we can take the collective data and try to honor what times work best for the majority of people. So that was one. And then number 2, Cassie has an announcement.
I do. Yes. I am hosting a goal setting webinar on Saturday the 15th at 1 p.m. Central. If you can't make it live, it will be recorded. So like even if you sign up for it, but you can't attend live, you can still catch the recording. So we'll send the link for that in the email.
And she's doing a giveaway.
Yes.
During it's not a live, it's a live webinar.
Yes, during the live webinar, anyone that is registered will be entered to win a live coaching session with me. And
she's doing a special bonus for challengers only. So our challengers on our Reading Challenger list. If you choose to attend the live or sign up and watch the replay, either one, you get 2 entries to the giveaway, not just 1.
Yes. So you should sign up. You should attend. We're going to have a blast. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. And hey, you could talk through reading goals if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or it doesn't have to be reading related. It could be whatever goals you have. She's got you. So
I love goal setting. So we're going to have a fun conversation. And then stay tuned because there'll be another webinar in March on a different topic.
Oh, have you announced that yet? Is this the first place you have announced?
This is the first place. I'm not announced it anywhere, so you guys get the sneak peek.
Y'all get sneak peeks for being part of our challengers. We love you guys, and we are so honored that we get to walk with you and have nerdy book chat each month. So
yes.
Okay, we will see you next month. We'll send out that email. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Yes. See y'all.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.